Hey guys, Anish here, career coach of the Fiercely Ambitious. Hope you're having an amazing day. And I wanted to focus this video on something that I think gets lost a lot. There's a lot of emphasis on how complicated it is to make your career better, to land that better job, get out of that negative relationship at work, negative boss, and move it forward. It's so complicated. There are so many moving parts. And in some ways that is, if it's been many years since you've been out in the job force and, you have to rebrand yourself for the first time, you have to negotiate what you feel is actually fair in terms of compensation. There's a lot of new things to learn, for sure. There is a learning curve. But not everything is complicated. And not everything about moving ahead needs to be complicated. And if you've been hiding under the guise of excessive complication or steps, let's talk about one thing you can do, one decision that is in your power and only your power to make that is going to blow this thing wide open. It is an answer to one question. Are you ready for it? And here's the thing, guys. Nothing I teach you is going to work or is going to be remotely effective. It's only as effective as how willing you are to move behind it. So let me ask you this. Before I share this with you, why are you here? Why are you taking time on this day in the midst of family and loved ones and everything else? Why are you here? What's your why? What's the dissatisfaction? What's the restlessness? What's the fierceness? What's the dream? What's the love? What's the passion, the desire that you have? What's your why that is saying through your watching this video, yes, Anish, I deserve something more? And I'm willing to step outside of my comfort zone to do it. What is your why? And I want you to sit down and I want you to write it down right now. It should be pretty easy. It could be someone's first name and last name. It could be as simple as that. So what is your why? Next, let me ask you this. Okay, here's the question. It separates the men from the boys and the girls from the women. Okay, it's the big one. All right, it's the big one. Here it is. And I'm phrasing it in a very specific way, and I want you to really hear me on this, okay? Are you willing to do everything in your power and beyond today to help people in the highest way that you can today? Or are you willing to talk about it? Are you willing to help people and make a difference right now, right in this moment that I am saying this to you? Are you willing to put your reputation on the line to start fixing these problems and helping people right now? Or do you just want the chance to do it? If you want the chance, stop watching this video. This is not for you. If you want the chance, go back into that, I'll say it, shit show that we call the job market and keep waiting for people who couldn't care less about you, gatekeepers who don't have 1/10 your qualifications or history, has no idea who you are. Wait and spend the rest of your life begging them for scraps at the table. Maybe you'll get lucky. Probably you won't. This is for everybody else. This is for the people who say yes. If I say I am willing to make a change, let me just follow this up and say, you do not need a job offer to make that happen, right? You do not need a better boss right now in that moment to start helping people. You do not need anyone's permission to start helping people, correct? But if your answer is no, that's a step too far, I need a gatekeeper to help me, that's a different scenario. Do you see what I'm saying? That is a completely different scenario. And it's not the same. So my question to you is, okay, my thought to you is, how can I put myself into a position where I'm already solving problems? How can I answer that question in the affirmative? Because guess what employers want right now? They don't want people who are waiting for permission. They don't want job seekers. They don't want another resume that they have to filter through. They want people who are already engaged in the business of solving what they solve. No? You don't want to work with a doctor who's like, hey, first patient in months, come on in, right? You want to work with a doctor who can barely squeeze you in. You're waiting a couple of weeks, you're complaining a little bit about that, but then you go see the best of the best and it makes sense, right? And you're cured. That's what you want. That's what employers want as well. Human nature does not go on the back seat when it comes to that. So here are my thoughts and my recommendations in terms of that, okay? In terms of putting yourself into the perception of being perceived as someone who is solving those problems today, not just someone who is talking the talk and looking for permission. Your brand, Stop making it about your skill set. Stop making it about experience you've had. No one cares that you were at Adobe for 5 years followed by that. No one cares. No one cares about anything aside from how is it going to help them, how is it going to help their companies and move things forward. Make your brand about impact, right? Make it all about the big change that you can make happen here. Make it clear that you're an expert who believes in something. What is your mission? What is the big pain that you start the process of solving? And remember, think about it this way. If I'm a business development expert, business development is not my pitch, is not my brand. If I'm strong in business development and I've got an operations background and I'm good with people, I'm saying to myself, how do I use those 3 arms to give people what they already want? My target is basically senior level executives who are feeling the pain of that. Not business development people, not operations people, people who are feeling the pain. How can I resonate with them? By talking their language. How can I help use what I do to help any company grow? How can I help keep any company safe through growing in this synchronized way as only I can, right? Answer this question and know this is one of the biggest differentiators. An expert is not waiting for someone else or the market to decide what their value is by means of a job title. No. Job title can be anything. Job title can be blah-blah-blah, blah-blah-blah, chief happiness officer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to answer the question of what is the big change that you make happen. You have to answer the question of what is magical about your process. You have to answer that first, and then other people will say, oh, that's actually what we want. Oh, you know what? We weren't even hiring, but you know what? That sounds really good. Can we get some more of that? You have to create that in people's minds. If you're not doing that, you're just waiting around. You're talking the talk. You're not walking the talk. You're not. Here's another one. Your approach. What is your approach right now? If you're an expert who is busy, 90% of your day is busy talking with leaders, advising people, adding value, moving things forward in your industry, then what is your approach? You don't have the time to spend 40 minutes submitting your resume through a job board. That wouldn't even occur to you, right? If you're talking with someone, anyone at a company, you're probably spending 5 minutes on an email in the midst of a busy day, and it is entirely about the outcome. What are you guys looking to solve here? I'm not interested in talking about job titles, compensation levels. I want to talk about why are you guys looking to hire? Because you guys have a deep workforce here, and I know that if it wasn't a severe set of problems that was beyond that skill set, you wouldn't be here. So what's going on here? That's what I want to understand. That's what I'm a nerd about, right? So my approach needs to be from that as an expert who already has the clout, who already has the power. How would he or she handle these scenarios? Who would he or she be wanting to talk to? If someone is saying, hey, you know what? Let's noodle about it and go it forward. You're the expert. You're the one who has to come in and say, with all due respect, that's not the kind of problem it is. If I'm talking to a doctor and the doctor sees that I have a horrible illness that requires immediate surgery, me saying I'll get back to you in 2 weeks after I run it up the flagpole is not an appropriate answer. Correct? So we got to start thinking in those ways, right? Now, brand, approach, these things have to change. If you're the answer, not the one who's looking for permission. Mindset has to change. Every single day, why are you doing this? Think about connecting mind, body, and heart together to this mission. This is not an analytical exercise. That is not enough. This is not only I'm passionate about this, but I'm too scared to know what the market is doing. That's not that kind of problem. You need to activate every single thing. You need to understand the people who have the roles that you want better than they understand themselves. What made them, pull them up on LinkedIn. What schools did they go to? What career decisions did they made? How did they broaden their skill sets? How are they branding themselves? Good, bad, ugly. You've got to understand that. And your mindset has to be from a place of someone who has already made this happen. You've already made this happen. You're making millions of dollars every single year, the highest paid consultant in the world for doing what you do. How are you addressing the next step? You got to get yourself into that mindset, because if you're waiting for permission, it will never go. No one wants to take a risk on anyone right now. They will take a jump on something that sounds like the only answer right now to what ails them. And that's what I'm advocating to you right now. Finally, salary, refuse to talk about it until you know exactly the pain that they are in. And you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are fully invested in solving it. And they know that you are the one and only answer on God's green earth who can. If you do not know with near 100% certainty on those two things, you are not ready to talk money, and they are not ready to hear it. All right. Hope this is helpful. If you want to go deeper into my journey, the next place you want to go to is helloanish.com. HELLOANISH.com. Videos, masterclasses, everything you need to break out of the job search trap forever. Have a great day, guys. Talk soon.